Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 58 of Really Fake, and this one is titled A Crossover. Now, I've had to skip a whole chapter between when Yin got the picture in yesterday's chapter to after they have finished up whatever they were doing in the gym room. And so this next chapter starts with the bell ringing. They've skipped a whole class being naughty in the gym room. Like clockwork, the bell rang to signal the end of second class, and you pulled a face. We just skipped second class to get freaky in the equipment shed, you said to Kuroo as he pulled back from you and you started to put your clothes back on. I make no apologies. Kuroo smirked. Did you want me to return the favour? You asked, gesturing below his waist. I'd love to say yes, but we'd better get to third class, otherwise the teachers will get suspicious. He replied. Okay, well, thank you very much for that. That was amazing, you said with a grin as you reached up to kiss his cheek. Next one won't be so quick. He smirked, chasing your lips so he could kiss you on the mouth. I look forward to it then, you replied, with an amused look in your eye after the kiss as you and Kuroo headed for the shed door to head back to third class. I did try and do the flirty text thing that you said you wanted from the list, but it ended up being a little bit more, Kuroo said, scratching the back of his head and grabbing his shirt that he had left draped over one of the benches along the wall of the gym. I'm not complaining, you said with a chuckle. That was hot as hell. Good. See you after school, yeah? Come to the gym. I have practice for the game that's coming up tomorrow. Okay, cool. I'll see you then, you said before turning and skipping off back to class. The teacher pulled you aside as you got back to the room, and you quickly made up a story about having terrible diarrhea, to which he was all too happy to let it slide, and he didn't ask for any more details. After school that day, you happily walked back to the gym and entered, making your way along the wall to sit next to Kenma, who was once again on his phone playing his games. Hey, you greeted him. He nodded, eyes still glued to his phone. Got a game coming up with Furudate? You commented to him. You beat them before, right? Kenma nodded again, furiously smashing buttons as his game character fought a monster. Think you'll win again this time? Possibly, he said in a soft voice, setting his hand down for a second in his lap, waiting for the game to reload after he lost to the monster. Kuroo's always at his best when you're around. Your heart flipped in your chest, and you smiled and looked away. Oh, is that so? You mumbled. He's liked you for a long time, I can tell, Kenma divulged. Are you spilling my secrets? Kuroo asked as he sauntered over, with ball under one arm. Come on, Puddinghead. We have practice to do now. I've just been told my senior's coming today to watch us. Your senior? You asked Kuroo. He nodded. Yeah, Darby Todoroki. He was the captain when I was vice. Oh, yeah, you mentioned him before. He's at Kuroo College now? Yeah, that's him, Kuroo replied. It'll be nice to meet him then, you said. It won't, Kuroo chuckled. Get ready for a lot of sarcasm and sexually charged jokes. I'm used to you, so it should be fine, he replied with a smirk. I can hold my own against sarcastic people. He hummed, jerking his head for Kenma to get up and follow. Come on, Nekoma needs its brain, he said to his teammate. I'd much rather be playing my game, Kenma replied in a dull voice as he slowly made his way onto the court. You sat down to watch them practice, your eyes being drawn to Kuroo's thighs constantly. Oh, if I could only have a bite of those, you thirsted internally. While you were busy oogling your man, a hooded figure walked into the gym from the door on the other side of the building, and you looked up at him. From what you could see, the person had a lot of scars and piercings on his face, and you watched as he sauntered to the back wall and leaned up against it with his hands in pockets. Is that their senior, I wonder? No one seemed to have noticed the guy yet, so they kept practicing, and he kept quiet until they called for a break. Oi! He suddenly called sharply to Kuroo, who had stepped off the court now and was wiping his brow of the sweat. Kuroo looked back over his shoulder and then smirked. Oh ho ho! You decided to sneak in, Captain, he teased. The hooded arrival gave Kuroo a lopsided smirk, and he pushed off the wall and then took his hands from his pocket to slap palms with Kuroo, the pair doing an elaborate greeting that obviously had been something they were used to doing frequently. I wasn't expecting you to sneak in, Kuroo said. Your mouth usually enters before you do. I'm a changed man, the hooded man replied, pushing his hoodie off to reveal spiky black hair. I doubt it, Kuroo teased, before turning to his teammates and calling them over to introduce the guy. Team, this is last year's captain, Darby. The team gave a polite greeting to Kuroo Sr. and Darby smirked. You got them on a tight leash there, Kuroo. They seem to be well-behaved guys. Yeah, much more than you were, yes, Kuroo replied. It was us that had to keep you in line. Oh, you're suffering from long-term memory loss there, Kuroo. Darby teased. On too many balls to their head. You can blame Lev for that, Yaku teased. What? What have I done? Lev asked, not quite following the conversation. A smattering of giggles and chuckles coursed through the team, and you smirked. Suddenly Kuroo's eyes were on you. Got someone else I want you to meet too, he said to Darby, his amber eyes never leaving you as he spoke to his ex-captain. Your heart jumped in your chest, and you tried not to let your flusteredness show as Darby looked over at you as well. Oh wow, his eyes are amazing, you thought. Me, in an alternate timeline, would totally go for him. Both Kuroo and Darby started walking over to you, and you stood up and brushed your palms on the sides of your school skirt to make sure they weren't sweaty. Hey, you greeted sheepishly. I'm Yin. Or short stack, or girlfriend, Kuroo added. Kuroo better be treating you well, Darby said to you, giving his ex-teammate a look. If you say because if he's not, then I'll do it for him, I'll knock you, Kuroo threatened. Darby let out a low chuckle. You know me too well, Kuroo. The crossover you're waiting for. Stay tuned for chapter 59 coming tomorrow. I'll see you then.